Hi there, welcome to the underworld. My name is Death, or at least you can call me that. Today we're going to be doing a pick-a-pile about what your spirit guides, the universe, whatever higher power that you believe is out there potentially providing you guidance or trying to keep you on the path that's correct for you, what they need you to know. So we're going to have 5 piles, and just go ahead and you can pick based on, you know, which one feels, pick based on your favorite color, pick based on, you know, if you like a certain smell, or you can pick based on the message that is present on the card. All of these are up to you. So go ahead and take your pick and I will see you in your pile. Hey there, if you picked pile 1 or vetiver, at least I believe it's pronounced vetiver, then this is going to be your pile. I'm going to be starting out by doing some shuffling. I will be doing this introduction all over again for the people who want to skip the shuffling. But for those of you who don't and want to be here while I am live reacting to what's coming out, this is going to be, yeah, just making sure that you know that you're in the right spot if that's the card that you picked. Okay, so I cleansed all the tarot decks, or at least all the ones that I'm using for this one. And the tarot deck that I had picked for this pile is going to be the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. And so, you know, I've got it all cleansed up for you guys. I'm going to do a whole bunch of shuffling for this, just to like make sure that we are getting somewhere with this. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. That was abysmal. Whoa. Okay, come on. You guys get to see me slipping and sliding everywhere. That's better. So I am a Libra Rising and a Virgo Mars. So, oh my God. I might be a little bit of a perfectionist. I'm sure if you guys have watched any of my previous videos, you guys see me like constantly adjusting the cards. Oh my goodness. So anyways, if you see me doing that in this video, I'm not really gonna apologize for it, I guess, because it's, I don't know, it's part of making me comfortable. I like things to be balanced and in order. Okay, we're gonna do one more and then it feels just about ready for you guys. Oh. All right, fine. We'll do that. Okay, put this off to the side. Okay. Do some quick shuffling and then we will wow, there we go, sweet. Okay, so guides, universe, spirits, whoever it is out there that's looking to get a message off to pile 1, that is specifically for their highest good. I'm going to put that filter on there. Please feel free to make that message shown. And Anup, just open the ways for me, please. Oh, I don't think that one's it. Okay. We have the starfish. Okay. probably not gonna need to, or probably gonna need to stop shuffling like that with this deck. It does not like it. All right. Ditto. Do you want me to take these? Okay, they really want me to take these. Okay, welcome the Divine Masculine and make a mission statement for your soul. I like that they match. Oh my goodness, we're getting quite the red color going on here, guys. Someone might be working on stuff to do with their root or sacral chakras, or energy points. I never really know what to do with a lot of those things, just because it's all, as far as the research that I've done, it's really up in the air about closed practices and things. If you guys want to DM me about like information that you have that says otherwise, or that says one way or the other, like, feel free. I am more than happy to read up on all of that, but until I know one way or the other, I'm just going to use both. So anyways, I've got a friend who gets clobbered by this deck a lot, always gets the same card coming up. In fact, I fuck up my own pronouns, I fuck up other people's pronouns, whoops. They get the same card that comes out a lot of the time for them. So, which, if you're watching this, Pile, hello, sorry for fucking up your pronouns. Anyways, we'll see what comes out for this one. Okay, this one seems to really want to come out. Oh, interesting, a deviation. Purple. Tranquility with the violet. Okay. And this one is my personal deck that I made. The photography is from Unsplash. Not a plug or anything, just figured I would give some credit. It's not completely mine. I did do the editing, but at any rate. Feeling kind of talkative. I don't know. There we go. Anyways, this is the Autumn Aesthetic Oracle. We have a message for pile number 1, please. Okay, I'm gonna take them both since they both popped out. We have From Out of the Mist and Take Your Pick. Interesting, okay. And then these are little affirmation dudes, cause, what? That one just did a full flip, okay. We have, I am the master of my own mind. I am ready to move forward. Interesting, combined with the Divine Masculine and the Make a Mission Statement for your soul. Coming Out of the Mist, Finding Inner Peace. Okay, this is gonna be a very dope pile. Okay. And now, finally, the main event. Tarot, I'm feeling the need to shuffle this one more time for some reason. All right. Did not want to shuffle all the way, that's okay. Sometimes whenever things get fucked up like that, I just kind of tell myself, that's how it was supposed to go, and move on. Who knows if it actually is, but, well, I guess our guides might, but anyways. No, that's too many. Okay. Okay. go ahead and take it. Okay. Hi there, Pile One. If you are part of the group that picked 𝗣𝗹𝗰𝗹𝗶, or Reconnect, or I Need to Escape, or I Am Present, whatever part of this card that you picked, welcome to your reading. You are in the right place. So we have done the shuffle before. If you wanted to watch the shuffle, you'll need to click the link for that beforehand. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Sorry about that, y'all. I wanted to kind of straighten things up a little bit and not make you guys watch that whole process. Okay, so we're just gonna start going over this card first. This is the one that you had initially picked. So like I said before, this is 𝗣𝗹𝗰𝗹𝗶. The trigger statement here says, I need to escape. The true statement is, I am present. The root of the issue for you will make itself known. Be open to the information you receive from your body, mind, and environment. And then it's talking about the need to reconnect. I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory. You may be in a place right now where you're picking up a lot of extra books to read, or you're scrolling through TikTok a bit too much. You're just trying to find ways to get some stressful stuff off your mind. I'm getting kind of this like almost like nervous, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's like a nervous energy, but that's like, it's like when you need to be like, feel the need to be like talking really fast, or like need to be like really like going through something and not thinking about it too much. And so you're just trying to like get it done as fast as possible. And all of that kind of energy. It's, honestly, it feels really exhausting, guys. Are you okay? I'm hearing no face, only fish. Don't really know why. I guess because the starfish here doesn't really have a face. This is a water sign. Trying to like get my energy back, get centered. You guys are in kind of a heck of a rush. Okay, so here with the starfish, I feel like there's this sense of, you know that you are a person with a lot of potential. You may have been told that your whole life. You may have been, told the whole, you can do anything that you put your mind to. Just kind of feeling this pressure to be the star of the show. And feeling like you can't be really showing who you really are. You can't show any of the scarier things that are kind of on the other side. I mean, like, we can see this right here. At least I'm pretty sure that this is the way that this works. I don't think the mouth is here. I think it's on the other side. And that's kind of where like starfish engulf their prey, because they are carnivorous, as I understand. But anyways, I think here, if I'm remembering everything properly, this is, the guidebook talks about the starfish being especially beautiful. So you may be experiencing a glow up right now, or just like be really feeling yourself. And if you're not, like, you are gorgeous. I'm just here to tell you that right now. And I'm sure that your guides are wanting you to know that, which is, I guess, why I'm sharing it. I've never really done one of these kinds of things before, so, or at least not for a collective. So kind of a new experience for me. I appreciate you guys for your patience. Okay, so what we're seeing here is welcome the divine masculine and then make a mission statement for your soul. So I'm going to start with this one. The divine masculine is, I'm hearing the phrase man with a plan, which, kind of makes sense. You may be someone who identifies more with he, him pronouns, or more of a masculine side of things. You may be someone who is just really like work oriented, very oriented towards securing material resources, making yourself feel safe. You may be currently working on vulnerability in terms of your shadow work or any kind of like personal growth stuff that you're doing. You may be working through feeling the need to be extremely strong. And perhaps you've been kind of like feeling like you're being pushed to be embodying more feminine elements, and that might be making you uncomfortable. And I think this is here to be telling you, like, hey, it's totally okay. Like, it's totally okay for you to be embodying this, you know, comfortable masculine energy, like that you are perfectly in your right to be doing that right now. Also, just as a note, like this number 19 is a karmic number. It's usually associated with like authority and everything. And I kind of say this because my life path number is technically a 19, which reduces to a 10, which reduces to a 1. So there's a lot about like learning. You may be learning lessons right now about leadership and being in charge and having to rely on yourself, especially when we're surrounded by a world. And if you're in like the self-help community, like being constantly told like, no, it's good, you need to rely on others. And it's like, if you're feeling the need to, in your journey, be like kind of like clamming up and relying on yourself, like just stay in touch with yourself, but know that that is okay. That's not always unhealthy. So then the next one that we're seeing here is make a mission statement for your soul. I think this one is just like really point blank. I think it's interesting. We're kind of seeing this triangle motif coming back up here. Not really seeing it anywhere else, but I don't know, just kind of stands out to me. I think that you may be in a place where you aren't sure what you want to do yet. I think that you may just be going through the motions right now. That's kind of connecting into the whole like need to escape and no face, only fish. You're just kind of trying to make sure that everything looks okay on the outside while you're trying to like figure out what you really want on the inside, what it is that calls to you and gets you back on the journey that you feel like you're supposed to be on right now. Again, I'm just hearing like, I need to really emphasize to you, you are exactly where you need to be right now. Things might be a little uncomfortable. You might be feeling like, you know, oh, I'm screwing all these things up. There are all these bad things happening to me. And this is not to discount any of the bad things happening to you, but you are handling things exactly as you should be. You are on the right path. The things that you are experiencing as challenges are not roadblocks telling you to move off and do something else. Currently, your guides really want you to know that you're doing everything right. You are doing everything right. You are doing everything that you can. And just, you know, keep on keeping on. Yeah, okay. And I think that honestly, like, I feel like that leads into really well this card, Tranquility. So this is the violet. I'm hearing the phrase burning a candle out of both ends with this. This symbol is the Pisces symbol, if I'm remembering correctly. Pisces is also like known for escapism. So, and then there's this water sign here. You might have a lot of Pisces in your chart, a Pisces stellium. It might be part of your big three or any of your personal planets. As a Pisces, hello. It's kind of a heck of an energy. So I think there's also like, you might be really experiencing, so purple is usually associated with like the, I believe it's the third eye energy point, if I'm remembering correctly. Basically, it's oftentimes associated with like more psychic abilities, as is Pisces. So you might be like staying up late or like, I'm hearing like maybe experiencing things in your dreams that are trying to get you to understand or internalize some kind of message. I'm hearing you're a star again. Just your guides care about you so much and just like want you to think the world of yourself. And they understand if you're not ready for that yet, but like just you are. I'm hearing the song that goes shining star for you to see. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember the rest of the lyrics. I can't quite make it out. Okay. So then the next cards that we have here are Take Your Pick and From Out of the Mist. So Take Your Pick here We are seeing kind of this, you know, pumpkin patch. I feel like with the whole thing with the plan, like you have a plethora of options ahead of you. Like you are someone who is not limited in terms of, like, you are so talented and so naturally gifted and blessed in this lifetime that you kind of have your pick of anything. And honestly, this might be part of the reason why you're feeling the need to escape. Sometimes things can get really overwhelming like this, especially when you have to make a decision. If you're on, like, figuring out how to manifest, like, the divine masculine for yourself, like discipline and protection and all those things, like, decisiveness is kind of part of that. And I feel like right now, like, the reason why things feel so overwhelming is because this is a chance for you to learn this lesson around decisiveness, and around figuring out what it is that you really want, what it is that's really going to suit you, instead of just going with what feels like the best option at the time. Like, take your time with figuring this out. So this next one is, like, from Out of the Mist, and I feel like this feels like Seven of Cups energy, which we don't have down here, but this just feels like it's already, like, kind of being there, where it's, how do I put this? I think there's either going to be, like, a person of some kind coming forward, or who has recently entered your life, who's going to be helping clarify a lot of these things that your guides are trying to lay out before you, or someone's going to come in to help you narrow down your options. I get the impression that you might be someone who does a lot better with figuring things out through lived experience. I mean, most people are to a degree, but I feel like you may be especially a person who feels like you have to be, you know, bapped upside the head multiple times in order to get something through, possibly because of the indecisiveness and restless mind and everything, and the need to escape. I feel like this is also talking about, like, coming out of the mist, being that you are, you have, like, your mental fog is kind of lifting right now, where you, I'm hearing, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. You may be coming to, like, some really clear understandings about things. I think it's going to be different for every person because we're all on different paths, but there have been some recent epiphanies that are making things clearer, and this might be coming through a specific person, or it might just be, it might be your guides speaking to you directly, or giving you opportunities to learn about these things. And I think, like, bringing this in, it says, I am the master of my own mind. I am ready to move forward. We talked about, like, having that really, like, restless mental energy, and I think here it's no longer letting your mind master you, but you being the master of your mind. Being in your mind doesn't let you live in the present. It's kind of too much escaping. There's, like, the need to, like, reconnect with your body. And I think it's interesting here. I don't know if it's a typo or not. Come here, card. But this card here says your body mind. There's no comma here. So it makes me wonder if it's not a typo, if it's reference to, like, it's not just about, like, your thoughts, it's about the literal processing of what is going on in your body, like reconnecting with your body through your mind, like not letting it just, you know, race away. And being ready to be decisive, being ready to make some kind of big decision. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting from you right now. I might come back to this for some more messages from your guides, depending on how the tarot reading goes. So taking a look at this, we have the reverse sun, the warrior or the knight of wands, the 5 of swords, the 9 of swords, the 2 of swords in reverse, the 9 of cups in reverse, and then the 9 of pentacles is our bottom deck energy. So kind of like the overall energy of everything. So just right off the bat, like, this card is, like, screaming out to me, like, you are so afraid that something is not going to happen, that, like, your wishes are not going to come true. Like, all of this potential that you feel like you've been promised, or, like, all these good things you've been promised because of all these blessings, like, things might be not going well right now, or you may be in a place where you're feeling like, I'm hearing the phrase hard up on your luck. that like maybe your luck has dried up, or that like you maybe feel like you cashed in on too many good things, and that there's not going to be any more good things coming to you. And I'm going to say right now, like, there are still good things coming to you. These are, like I said before, your guides really want me to emphasize that these are challenges. These are hurdles to get over. They're not roadblocks. You are not required to turn around unless you really want to. You do have free will. You don't have to burn yourself out. Like, listen to your body, but there are good things coming to you if you're able to push through. And I think a lot of this has to do with figuring out what the kind of life you specifically find fulfilling. So I'm getting kind of this feeling that like the reason why, so usually like people think of like the 10 of Pentacles as like your legacy card. I feel like here, this is not like, you might be someone who really likes to serve other people. And so here, this is talking about like, what is it that you find fulfilling in a lifetime? Like, it's not about like the next, like, yeah, sure, like the whole family and the legacy bit, like that's super great. If you want a family, or if you want to make, work your family, if you have a community that you are investing in and that you are wanting, that's great. But right now, the lessons in your life that your guides are needing you to learn are all around focusing on you and focusing on what you want. And what makes you feel successful, what makes you feel fulfilled, and feel like you put your effort into something that was worthwhile, not feeling like you're looking back and wasting your time on something that was someone else's pet project. I think here, this reverse sun, I'm getting kind of like it feels maybe a little conflicting, but I think it's just kind of two sides of the same coin, where you're really trying to focus on inner happiness, and you're maybe finding spots of that where it's not like this like miraculous joy of like crying because you're happy or whatever all the time. But I think that there's like a sense of like trying to escape exhaustion and burnout. So you're feeling kind of unhappy in the background, but also at the same time finding and cultivating this like deep sense of just inner contentment and, peace with what is going on. And I think that your guides want me to be telling you that this is exactly, this is exactly what you need to be doing. Like, finding peace with where you are at right now and accepting that sometimes bad things and things that are uncomfortable are just going to be part of the journey, and being able to be content through that anyways, is really going to help. And I think through learning these, you're going to be able to really ignite and maintain your passion. I'm hearing a reference to the asteroid Vesta. Vesta is associated with like the phrase like Vestal virgins and stuff, but it's associated with a flame, like priestesses who would keep this flame in Rome lit, as the mythos that I understand goes. And so there's a lot about like devotion and everything, but there's also a lot about, I'm hearing like taking small steps and bites that end up just feeding the flame, where it's like when we go and visit like say like a reenactment place, or like for old times and stuff, you might visit a forge at some point and you might see a person like stoking a fire, or that there's this massive fire that they're using, and that fire is the process of small steps taken incrementally and taken to maintain it over time. That this fire of passion is not just like a one-time thing where you light it and it just goes. You have to be adding fuel to it consistently. And I think that that's kind of this reference here to that consistency. Even though like the Wands is about passion, it's about, merging this, discipline into your passions and learning how to be, learning how to be patient, which is like a lot of these messages coming out here. I'm just like, oh my God, I think my guys want me to pick this pile. But I promise I'm just trying to like get the messages off to you guys. Anyways, with this Warrior of Wands, now I'm hearing about like Zeus or something. I just kind of get the impression that like you might be looking at working with the Greek pantheon, or you may already work with people within the Greek pantheon. If that's the case, they say hello. I'm hearing like Hera as well. Not like the literal goddess, but I'm like hearing the phrase. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, oh, now I'm hearing the phrase like Hera wants you to know she's proud of you. So I don't know if you work with Hera, but she says hello. So moving forward, we've got this Five of Swords here. So the Five of Swords is a lot about like conflict. Usually in the original iconography, you've got a single person who is standing in this frame like this, holding some swords. There are a few swords in the background, but there's also people walking away. And for me, they always look like they're walking away really dejectedly. It kind of reminds me of like whenever you get into an argument with someone and you just kind of feel like maybe you won. It's a Pyrrhic victory card where you won, but at what cost? Or someone won, but at what cost? And I think here, that's part of the reason why you're having trouble with figuring out what it is that you want and how to move forward decisively, is that you have won a lot of Pyrrhic victories, and they're starting to feel really hollow, or you are really struggling to figure out, I'm hearing what it means to stand your ground, like when it's appropriate to stand your ground on something. And that might be kind of bringing in like some of the people-pleasing things where it's like, you know, if you've had poor judgment in the past that's kind of made you afraid to exercise your own willpower, that would especially relate into this. Swords is also around like intellect and communication. So I don't get the impression that this is around like throwing hands or like hurting people like in a physical sense. I really get that this is like, or even like an emotional sense. I think that this is a lot about like your intellect and how you might have a tendency to like struggle to balance detachment and your empathetic nature, which if that's the case, I relate hardcore. There's a speck. Okay. No, she just looks like she's waiting for something. She's kind of like holding on to the swords, almost just being like, you know, just come and take them from me. You might be feeling really like backed up against a wall, or worried that this is going to happen again. And, you know, first off, your guides want you to know, like, and I also want you to know that will happen again. It's not, conflict still will happen. Oh, now I'm kind of seeing this storyline of like feeling really kind of, you know, getting more like inner confidence in yourself. I'm almost hearing like the shadow aspect of the sun would be, or like the sun rules Leo. The shadow aspect of Leo is oftentimes associated with like arrogance. So it might be like feeling really good about yourself, like just, you know, feeling yourself charging forward into something passionately, and then, you know, ending up with coming out with something that you took a ton of losses on. So like maybe it's something that you know, procrastinated on. Maybe it's something that you really pushed someone too far, farther than you should have, and just leaving you feeling like you can't trust. And like it felt like that was the right thing to do, right? It felt like you were feeling yourself, everything felt right. And so then you get to this place, and now it's kind of like, maybe that's why you experience all these racing thoughts right now, and you don't dwell on them for too long or trust them to make any kind of lasting changes. So you just kind of, you don't trust your intellect, you don't trust your own mind, even though, God, now I'm hearing like you trust, the thing that you trust the most is your mind, and you don't even trust your mind. God, and I'm feeling like the guides who are in the background here, who are like really wanting you, like, I'm feeling this like, oh my gosh, my heart point is just like opening up, is just like swelling. It never happens like that. Oh my gosh. There is so much love being poured out to you right now. I'm hearing a relative. I don't know their name, but I'm hearing, I feel like a family member just saying like, hey, I experienced a lot of the same. You are not alone. Maybe that's why she's by herself in this, because maybe it's that you've gotten to this place where you just end up feeling alone and isolated, where, you know, these conflicts potentially don't even faze you anymore. You just kind of expect them to happen. Well, except we've got the Nine of Swords immediately after, so it just leads you to like marinate in all of this grief and anguish. Pansies, I'm hearing someone thinks that they are weak, that if they don't win, they're weak. Oh my goodness, bestie, that is so difficult. I am really sorry for a lot of the energies that you are going through right now, and that you have gotten to a place where interactions with people have left you feeling like you can't trust yourself or your own voice. That is a hard place to be in. I am so proud of you for all the work that you were doing to try and recover that voice. I'm hearing kind of like cheering in the background. Whoever is here for you right now, they are also proud of you for that work that you're doing. I know that right now you feel full of anguish and just exhausted and needing to rest and feeling weak because you need to rest. And I know that you are feeling imbalanced. You're feeling like you don't know. You feel like you have two options and neither one of them seem great, or more options than that. You feel like that you are not capable. You feel like you can't, because you can't trust your own mind, you feel like you're not capable of seeing things clearly to balance things out. And you feel this, you know that you need to do that. I feel like there's just like, there's a moon here. I feel like there's just this intuitive sense. You have an intuitive nature, and what you are intuiting what it is that needs to happen. And when things don't go the way that they need to happen, you assume that it's because you did something wrong. And I think it's kind of like a tangled up thing where it's like, you shouldn't assume that that's what you're doing wrong, but you are assuming that you're the one doing something wrong because there are lessons attached to this experience that you are learning, and attached to this experience that you need to be learning about to be able to carry it forward. I do not know what that banging is, but I'm going to continue. Sorry about that, guys. I just went ahead and grabbed water and let the... Oh, it's getting louder. Okay, I'm just going to continue. Your guides are... I'm hearing so proud of you, but there's still so much further to go. That there is... Not even a but. They're so proud of you, and there is so much further to go. You have already conquered so much. There are so many muscles that you've built up through this time period, more than you are giving yourself credit for. I think that you might think that you are weaker than you actually are, and that might make things really difficult for you, where like you're a person who is shining. You are just absolutely stunning to the people around you, and that just makes it harder. You just feel more isolated. Yeah, every single person here in these cards is alone. You are exactly who you need to be. And being isolated or feeling isolated from other people is not a sign that you've done anything wrong. Yes, that there is still growth to happen, But you haven't done anything wrong. There is nothing wrong with you. Right now, you're exactly who you need to be, where you need to be. Take comfort and peace. Let yourself rest. And I know that that's something that people are constantly saying in these kinds of readings, but like, seriously? You deserve the world. You deserve so much. You deserve so many good things coming true for you. I think the fact that this even came up, that this Nine of Cups came up, that it's even in this spread, the things that you want are going to be happening, whether you think they will be or not. We've got 3 9s here, so that 9 might be really important as a number for you. Or you might want to look into the meaning of 999. That's not something that I'm super versed in, but might be, further messages. That's really most of what I'm seeing here for you. So I'm going to get some more direct guidance and information, or like kind of like more words of comfort. All right, got this. I combined all of my, or 2 of my, oh my gosh, I forget her name, the Starseed and the Sacred Light. Anyways, combined them, and so now I just have one big deck. One big deck. What do we have to encourage and lift up? Pile number 1, please. Okay. Weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Portal, doors are opening, you decide. Rewards, wild card. I think that's coming back to the, take your pick. There are so many more opportunities coming your way than you even have right now. So being decisive and knowing what it is that you need when it comes to them. I'm hearing you need to know what you need in order to be decisive. That's why you're on this part of it, so that you can, it all is connecting into a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Yeah. Whatever it is that you've been waiting and wishing for, like, it is going to happen. It's going to happen when it needs to happen and not a moment sooner, unfortunately. They're a new thing. There's so much newness waiting for you. Your guides they feel so excited. Let's get one more, please. Just one. Does anyone else have something to say? Oh. Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. I think it's interesting that this is coming back to, in this, when I was gesturing over here in this area, I was really talking a lot about, or at least I talked a little bit about you guys potentially being people pleasers. And I think that part of this is making the move, that finding these boundaries and being able to let go and let yourself rest is giving yourself the chance to really transform your ability to uplift humanity, that you have those innate instincts, the willpower and the drive to do those things, and that you're not wrong. Like, this is what you are here for, is, you know, lifting the vibrations of the world around you. That's what, you know, a lot of this current generation is here for. I think, though, that this is an important part of refining yourself in being able to get there. And I'm hearing you are so close. And we're gonna do just some like final closing words of encouragement. I'm just going to take this one right now. I am the loving energy of the universe. I'm hearing that you might be learning a lot of lessons around love. Talking about being the embodiment of love, so that you can, you know, uplift humanity. Any more? Get some more encouragement, please. Okay. When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. And we're going to close off with, true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. And with that, that'll be your reading pile number 1. I hope that this helped, and feel free to go on to any other piles you would like. If I see you in another pile, I see you in another pile. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your week. And yeah, good luck with everything. Hey there, if you picked pile 2 or citronella, then you are in the right place. This is for the shuffling section. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start off with shuffling your tarot deck. It is all cleansed up and ready to go for you guys. The one that I chose for this pile is the Tarot of the Divine. I don't know why I want to mention this, but like, this always reminds me of that little sprite from, I think it's Legend of Zelda. I don't know, it's interesting. Come on. Let's do one more, and then I think you guys are going to be ready. Set that over there. Okay, we're going to start shuffling and getting your oracle cards out. This is the Wild Unknown Animal Oracle. Hold on. You're gonna get to see me separate cards because I'm pretty sure I had these. Oh, weird. Come on. Yeah, they're all upright. I don't want to screw that up again. Okay. Okay, what is a message that, or the message, how do I want to phrase this? What is it that pile two's guides, the universe, their gods, what is it that pile two needs to learn from you guys? Oh, that was fast. Okay. Cobra. Okay. What does pile two need to hear from their guides in the universe for their highest good? Okay. Too many. Just one, please. You flipped first, so... But we'll just take a look at it for right now. Make a mission statement for your soul. This came out for the last pile. Interesting. I wonder if this has something to do with, like, Venus being in Capricorn and stuff. Capricorn is a lot of times... It's like an initiator, planner, but also like a lot about timing and the like. Okay, at least I associate it with a lot of timing. Okay. Lots of red and orange. Just one, please. That works. Oh, that's fun. Okay. We have to do with the eyes and seeing and clarity. And we're gonna get one of these little, oh, that was fast. These affirmations. My mind is open to new experiences that will transform my life. Okay, nice. we're coming back to the star of the show, tarot. Okay. You know what? I'm going to take them. Okay, and back of the deck energy is the Seven of Wands in reverse. All right, I'm going to get these straightened up. And I will see you guys here in a little bit. Hi there. If you are here, hopefully you are a member of pile number 2, or at least someone who picked the 𝗖𝗔𝗃𝗃 card. Or maybe you didn't pick 𝗖𝗔𝗃𝗃 specifically. Maybe you picked, you know, the trigger statement of I am being invaded, or true statement of I am pure. Anyways, if you picked this card, this is your reading here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with reading off what this says. So like I just said, this is the 𝗖𝗔𝗃𝗃 card from the, I think it's just called the Essential Oils Oracle deck. Has the trigger statement of I am being invaded, the true statement of I am pure. It says, as you align with the frequency of peace, the invasions from outside yourself and dissonance within are neutralized. It has the keyword here of expel. I think here, set this down, I'm gonna pick this back up. I get a lot of, like, honestly, I don't get as much, like, active pushing away as much as I get almost resignation. Like, there's a lot of energy of resignation here in this pile, and I don't know, it feels like in a way you've, like, lost hope or something. You might be in a place right now where you don't, I'm hearing, like, there are boundaries that you're trying to set down that you are not finding are not respected or being respected, and you're in a situation where you can't, you may be in a situation right now where you can't get out, and that it's just not possible to require those boundaries to be enforced. It may be, you know, work situation, home life, relationships with other people. And that is a really difficult place to be in. And with the resignation, it feels like it's been happening for a while. And it may be something that you've just been having to just having to accept that that's the way it is for right now. And I am really sorry that you're in that space. I think there's also a lot of guilt here. If it could be coinciding with the other stuff in the pile. It could be coinciding with the other stuff that I just said. But if you're not part of that group, where you feel like your boundaries are being constantly overstepped, there may be this feeling of guilt where either you could be the one overstepping boundaries or feeling like you're being a burden on other people, that you are invading other people's spaces, and making them feel like they need to push you out. So I feel like it could kind of go both ways, and one could definitely cause the other, or like, by that I mean like feeling like your boundaries are crossed at home could lead you to be subconsciously acting out, and pushing other people's boundaries outside of it, or pushing other people's boundaries outside of things could lead to you feeling, you know, not respected at home, like projecting that onto other people in your situation. Just take whatever resonates for you. You know yourself far better than, I mean, I do, but also this is kind of a general reading. So I'm getting the sense that that's a pattern that your guides have been trying to get you to recognize, and that they're wanting me to be explicitly stating that that's kind of where your gaze needs to be turned towards when it comes to your shadow work. Which actually moves us perfectly into taking a look at this next card. So this is the Cobra card. This is a, you know, fire sign, or like this represents fire. So you could have a fire sign in, I think most likely your big three. Yeah, most likely your big three. You could have a Leo North Node is something that I'm hearing. That would have been right after the Virgo North Node that was ended in like 98, 2000s. Anyways, so with this one, this card is like, the Cobra already represents spiritual teachers or guides. This is like your spirit guides are like staring you in the face, just like, hey, we are here. Like, I'm hearing that TikTok sound where they go, I see you, do you see me? Yes, I see you. And I think this is less frustration to do with like you not reaching out to your guides, or you not, this is just like, there's been something that they've been trying to get you to see. It could have to do with, I think this is only part of it. I think your guides are just really, I'm just getting this like sense of like coiled frustration. I think it's between both of y'all, honestly. You may have had a fight recently with one of your gods, or one of your spirit guides, or heck, with the universe. I've certainly shouted at the universe before, so maybe you were having a fight with the universe. I'm hearing leaving the ball in their court. I think I get the sense that it's like coming back to this like feeling of resentment that I'm getting in here. You may be currently, like, things have been hard for you for a while, and not just like, not like explosively hard. Like, yeah, like it peaks and like it has valleys and peaks and it plateaus, and you know, it varies, but it's kind of just this consistent banal background. I think is banal, I think is how you pronounce it. I mostly only read it, but anyways, a banal background to everything else that's going on in life. That's just, it's just kind of like providing this like sinking. You may struggle with depression, which if that's the case, I'm really sorry. I know how hard that can be. But I think this is kind of a twofold thing of your guides saying, we're here, like kind of like in a comforting way of like, yes, we're still around. Like, we haven't abandoned you. I'm hearing we just can't do everything for you as much as we would like to. Your guides are feeling like they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place when it comes to a lot of your situations, I feel like. Where they can't, like, so they can't do it for you, and there's only so much that they can say without it ruining the lesson for you, because a lot of the lesson is about, like, basically the way that lessons are, you have to fuck around so then you can find out. You can't just find out without the fuck around, as much as I personally would like for that to be the case. But there's just like, there's a resentment, but there's also like things being apologetic, where it's like, hey, like, they can't really help you out of this tough space right now. They can't like pull you out of it. They can only help you get through it. You know, and getting through it can look like either, I'm hearing the word like emergency exit over and over again in my head. So some of you guys may be in a situation right now where you may just be needing to like slam the eject button and like throw out. So if you're waiting for a sign of like needing to eject from a situation, here is your sign, eject. And know that, you know, go with your guide's blessing. Oh, I'm feeling like some of the guides like leaving, like literally like that was just what they needed to say of eject. Anyways, I think, yeah, they're really sorry that they can't help you in the way that you really want them to be helping you right now. And that kind of leads us perfectly into this next card of the Edge of Evolution feels messy. You, as cliche as it is to say, this seems to be implying that you are on the precipice of some big change. I think that it's going to be, what I'm hearing is getting a, how do I put this in like human words? You're essentially getting a clearer picture of what the rest of your life is going to look like, which is probably why that other card popped out that we didn't take. There's a card of, oh my gosh, it was about getting to your, basically like making a path for your potential, or like deciding what that path was. And I think, this is gonna bother me, okay. I think that right now, well, and I'm just going to go ahead and like hop into the tarot reading for a little bit. This Seven of Wands here reversed is about giving up, because it was like things feel too hard. I'm hearing that I need to tell you, like, if you need to get out, like, get out. Like, you don't need to hold on to prove to anyone how strong you are. All of this is your free will. There will be new opportunities to learn other lessons down the road. The current opportunities that you have right now are just the best ones right now. There will be future opportunities if you need to defer some things and pick this back up later. Now that could make other things, that could close other doors that you were wanting to have open, later, but that's going to be something that you're going to have to think through and figure out for yourself. And I think that that's part of what this moment of clarity is going to be about, is figuring out whether or not, I'm hearing the song, should I stay or should I go? So this card up here, this affirmation, it says, my mind is open to new experiences that will transform my life. I think with the resignation, there's just a lot of sense of like, feeling like nothing is going to get better, feeling like this is all that there is and all that there ever will be. And I think that your guides are really wanting you to know, like, no, that this is not the end. Like, the stuff that you're dealing with, you will not be dealing with this forever. It all flows. Like, one of my friends shared with me when I was trying to figure out how to deal with some grief, that grief is like an ocean wave. It comes and it goes. Like, it leaves, it comes back. Sometimes there's a high tide, sometimes it's low tide. But all of the bad things that are happening right now, like, they're not permanent and they won't last forever. I'm seeing this Virgo here, and I'm really hearing, like, self-punishing tendencies. And I'm, like, starting to, like, curl in on myself. You may be, like, hardcore self-isolate. Like, you may be hardcore isolating right now. Which, like, if your quality language, or if your if your love language is quality time, then this is your sign that you're self-sabotaging. If you're self-isolating, I just realized the Hermit is here. So isolation is possibly a huge thing right now, where you're just you're either needing to feel alone, your guides want me to tell you that it's okay if you need to be alone too. I think what it comes down to is, like, your guides are telling you, like, I'm sorry that we can't do anything for you right now, or that we can't, like, make it better instantaneously. They're, like, giving you, like, full permission to do what you gotta do. Right now, this is a matter of, like, surviving, and getting through things, and that is super fucking valid. I'm seeing this Page of Coins here, and in the Tarot of the Divine, each of these is associated with, like, a story from mythology or folklore, and this one is associated with a Sami god of, I believe, like, springtime. And so I feel like it's like there's so many positive cards here. Like, I would expect with all of the, like, feelings that I'm getting from this pile that I'd be getting something like a 9 of Swords, or even a 4 of Swords or something. But I feel like there's this huge pressure to keep up this face of positivity, to, like, make everything look okay so that maybe it feels okay. I think I'm trying to, like, get a clearer way to verbalize my thoughts and see what your guides are trying to get me to tell you. I'm almost seeing this as, like, these are, like, all the options that are, like, before you and ways to respond. Like, you can respond to this in terms of, like, I'm going to learn how to be more stable. You can respond to this with your, like, I'm going to just fucking burn it down. I'm going to, you know, focus on having a good time, or even focusing on, you know, my spiritual pursuits. You could be focusing on, like, I feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so I'm going to just try and sort all of that out and try to balance everything out, the only way I know how. You could be feeling like you need to like make a choice that causes you to separate from something that's no longer serving you. This could be a relationship. You could be having a new relationship coming in that you are like, that is like blossoming, and that you're feeling the need to like really lose yourself in as a distraction or something. You could be just needing to like really hunker down and just be alone for a while. Coming back to that statement that I made earlier from your guides of, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm getting the feeling that some of you guys have young kids, and that there's just not an opportunity to fall apart the way that you really want to or feel like you need to. You may be really struggling with feeling like your partner or your co-parent is, if you have one that is not supporting you properly, or just that you're struggling feeling supported in general. I feel like you are naturally just this very like positive, embracing your inner power kind of person. And that it's really like, it's uncharacteristic for you to feel so like frozen and so like struggling with things. And your guides just need you to know that they care a ton about you. And understand whatever decision you have to make. Everything that happens for, I wouldn't say for a reason, but everything goes as it is supposed to, in a way. And as frustrating as that is, sometimes I've found a lot of freedom for me personally in thinking about how, because everything goes the way that it's supposed to, it means that my mistakes were supposed to happen. You know, it means that the things that I thought were imperfections in my life, or things that were a problem for me, they might not be good, and I may not want to celebrate them or honor them as being a part of my story, but it is whole. It is not broken or crumbling. It is not destroyed, and it's not finished. They're just, I'm hearing the phrase dingier doorways. Yeah. I'm going to move forward into the kind of what I'm struggling with right now. I'm just going to tell you guys is like, because I'm experiencing so much grief from this pile, it feels like any kind of like, it doesn't feel like what you need right now is being told like, oh, you know, everything will be great. Like everything's going to pick up. Everything's going to be so much better. And so like saying those kinds of things, like even if they're true, even if your guides are trying to get me to say that and like, they want you to know that, it doesn't feel like it adequately addresses where you guys are at. And you guys deserve empathy. You guys deserve to have someone to sit with you and just listen, not try to fix everything. Maybe that's why this Virgo is here, is because you're trying to fix everything. You're feeling overwhelmed by just trying to fix it. And it's time to just sit with it. to just be ready to fall apart, and that's okay. If you need to fall apart, that is even that is included in the list of options, you know? Just know that I am rooting for you, and so are your guides. And whatever decision you make, it will lead to a way out. I'm gonna go ahead and pull some, like, hopefully some like soothing advice cards. So like advice from your guides. These tend to be a bit softer. It reminds me of one of these cards just says no on it, and I really hope we don't just pull that one, but it makes me want to like go through and pull that one out for future readings. I don't know if it's a, there we go, okay. Lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. Even if the tower isn't here, I'm feeling super strong tower energy where there are things falling away. I almost feel like it just like goes beyond, it goes beyond anything that the tower can describe. Especially if you are someone who identifies with feeling really trapped in your current situation. I think that's part of what is going to give you clarity, is just ask all the questions that you've been afraid of asking. I'm hearing that some of you guys need to ask yourself if you're really happy. Next one is the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. I think this further confirms that like a lot of you may have children, especially young children that you're having to spend a lot of time caring for. But I think this is also like trying to get you to recognize and honor that even if you have to constantly be the adult in a situation, that it doesn't mean that you have to ignore or box away your inner child, and that it's important to find outlets for that child to feel loved and fulfilled. Some of you guys may really benefit from going back and like watching movies that you really enjoyed as a kid, especially if your kids haven't seen them yet. But if you don't have kids, then like you can still benefit. But anyways, the next one is transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. I'm being reminded of the like metaphor that a lot of a shadow worker healing journey is basically like, it's basically re-traumatizing yourself for the sake of healing. Because when you healed the first time, it's like you didn't have your bones set properly when they were broken. And so now that you have a chance to, you know, heal them properly, you're having to go through that whole process again of like re-breaking those bones to get them back to where they need to be. And it's going to be painful, but that's part of why things are so painful right now. And that, you know, it is basically that the things that you're going through are not for nothing. I'm just going to go ahead and take these two because it's just two of them. These ones go so well together. Trust your path and the age of light. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? You've been training for this for lifetimes. You are someone who is supporting so many other people that you haven't been able to support yourself. and you are your own best support. And that's not true for everyone. Like, not everyone is their own best support. And that's different from like everyone being their worst critic or something. In this, I mean that not everyone can be as much of the full package and have their own backs in the way that you are capable of doing. You are someone who, if many of you are people who have lived many lifetimes, and a lot of what you're going through right now is involving downloading and relearning your past life lessons that are going to serve you for the next chapter of what you need to do. I think that this here is like, what I'm hearing the answer here for a lot of you is you would rest. If you knew that someone else was going to step in and take care of the things that you are always the one taking care of, what would you do? How much responsibility would you be able to relinquish to other people if you knew that they would take care of it in the way that you trusted them to? And I think that's another thing that you need to be asking. That's another, like, coming back to the questions thing that you need to be asking yourself is, heck, now I just lost my train of thought. Well, the question has to do with that. Anyways, gonna pull just some like final thoughts from your spirit guides. Any last messages that they want you to hear, hear through me at least. Whoa. Okay. Oneness is my true nature. I'm hearing you are not alone. Just want to comment on how there was a lot of like initial frustration and anger at the beginning, and then a lot of it melted away into like grief and tiredness. You might want to look into or like meditate on how you use anger as a motivator and also as a way to get yourself to, how do I want to put this? To use how you potentially hide your grief and emotions that don't feel safe or that don't feel that you don't feel like you can handle right now under your anger, and how that may cause you to like lash out sometimes. I am a spirit having a human experience, and I'm here to get closer to love. And one more, please. Okay, apparently they wanted 2. And these came out for the last pile. Interesting, okay. I am the loving energy of the universe. And when I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. And on that note, I'm gonna call your reading right there, pile 2. I hope you have a really restful and fulfilling rest of your week. Whenever it is that you're watching this, I hope that things get better. And I'm wishing every good thing in your direction, as are your guides. And as soon as there's something that they can do to help clear things up, they will be right there for you. So have a good, I already said this, but have a good rest of your weekend or week. And yeah, goodbye. Hi there, pile 3. If you are, or at least if you picked this eucalyptus card, then you are in the right place. This is the shuffling section of everything where I'm going to be drawing some cards, or like getting everything shuffled up and drawing them, and you can see my live reactions to whatever is coming out. If you don't want to watch this, then you'll just want to click the next time stamp or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Actually, we're gonna start with your tarot. Got this all cleansed up and ready for you guys. This one that I picked for pile number 3 is the Wandering Spirit Tarot. This has very quickly become one of my favorite decks to work with. It is absolutely beautiful, both to like the artwork as well as just like the texture of it. It is thick, and then it's like rose petal, or like I think it's called like rose petal finish or whatever. So it's like matte, but it is soft. So it feels like absolutely luxurious. That feels good enough. We're gonna set that off to the side. Okay. Oh. I keep doing this. There we go. For I don't know, I just want to invite any spirits or guides, gods, the universe, whatever it is that's out there that needs pile number 3 to know something for their highest good and betterment. I invite you to, use this opportunity to speak now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take, no, there's 3 of them. I'm not gonna take 3. I would prefer 1, please. I'm not gonna take 3. It's interesting though that snake was there. As I understand, snakes are oftentimes associated with like, kind of like 𝗖𝗏, where it's like, because they're associated with medicine and healing, as well as like, poison and hurting people. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take these 2. Sort of the sea serpent and the elk. I totally lost my train of thought on that. So let's see. Ditto what I said before, please. Okay. Okay. I guess I will take both. Oh, I remember now what I was talking about with snakes. So, and before, like, a snake had shown up. Funny that, like, we get the sea serpent now instead of the snake. So, anyways, that they're associated with healing. And it's about, like, transmuting or, like, changing your wounded energy into healing energy that then helps other people as well. Which is why it's associated with Chiron a lot of the time, which is one of the asteroids. Okay. That is too many. I'm gonna take it. No. There's two of them. I'm not taking two. I will take one. I've already gotten two of basically all the others. Or do one. There we go. Sanctum. Okay. And then we're gonna do one of these affirmations. Excuse me. Sorry for yawning. While I'm filming this, it is getting kind of late at night for me, and we just had daylight savings happen here in the fall, so it feels an hour later than it actually is for me. Okay. I trust my inner guidance. My soul knows the way forward. I love that that's paired here with that divination. Okay, now for the star of the show, the tarot. Okay. I think the sea serpent is associated with the sacral chakra or energy point. I'm trying to remember. There's a connection that I was making with the King of Cups coming out in relationship to the sea serpent. Oh. When did you flip? Okay. I'm hearing carrying a lot of the emotional burdens of other people. Now I'm hearing a chorus from a song called John Hughes Movie. It says, "If you don't want me, then you're not the one." So perhaps that could have something to do with, like, maybe helping people who don't necessarily want your help right now. You're really, like, pushing being helpful as a way to feel useful, perhaps. Come on, need a few more, please. Like 2 more. You got 2 more in you, I know it. Come on. Oh my God. Oh, they gave me 3. No? 2. Nice. I love when that happens. Okay. And then on the back of the deck, we have hope. Okay. Let's shift all of these over here a bit. All right, so hi there, pile 3. If you picked this eucalyptus card, then you are in the right place. And I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into your reading. So for reading this card, like I just said, it is eucalyptus. This is from the Essential Oil Oracle deck. And here it says, trigger statement, I am sick. The true statement is I am alive. It is time to embrace a new way of being, one filled with health and the freedom to create a new reality. It's about resetting. So I think, I mean, just like right off the bat, you're currently in a time where you're trying to embrace a new way of being. There's new things on the horizon for you where, or at least new things that have come into your life. Perhaps there's a new habit you're trying to start. I mean, like there's the classic, like trying to go to the gym regularly. There's the classic, like maybe there's a new diet you're trying. But basically, or honestly, like I feel like with some of these cards that are here, I think that a lot of this has to do with more like spiritual stuff as well. There may be a new god that you're working with, or a god that's like reached out, or that is trying to work with you. Maybe picking up tarot for the first time. Whatever it is, it feels, and I'm hearing the phrase fresh scent, just kind of reminding me of how like eucalyptus just smells really new, and is oftentimes like used in a lot of perfumes that want to evoke that like new scent, or like fresh scent of freshness. So I mean, I feel like that's really exciting. I feel like your guides are like, yes, you have this opening now, but you are still carrying around a bunch of the baggage that we have asked you to drop several times already, and that we've been trying to get you to let go of for a while. I'm hearing the phrase like dog chasing its tail. It may feel in a lot of ways with your shadow work like you're going in circles, or like you're caught in some kind of self-perpetuating loop and you don't know how to get it to stop. This may have to do with like maybe one of your energy points is frozen open or closed. And then we have the elk here, who is about, or this is like an earth element. So you may have like earth in one of your big 3. It's also like a particularly fiery card, so I would also think that like you've got some kind of fire, and then sea serpent is water, so like you might be the avatar, master of all 4 elements. I think here you're trying to step into your own. You're trying to be this like elk king of the forest kind of vibes, because you know that your guides have been trying to get you to work on self-worth. You know that your guides have been trying to make sure that you have all of the leadership abilities that you need to progress. And I think that when it comes to this elk and sea serpent combo, like you have such a potential to be deeply spiritual, but there's a part of you that's really clinging to like earthly things and earthly pursuits of things. And I think that's part of why, like, it's important to let go of your baggage, because letting go of these ties, that's kind of, I'm now like thinking that like this might have to do with something else, but I'm with this eye here, and like this might have to do with like crown energy point or chakra, where you're trying to start getting, or like get your intuition to start taking, as one might call like psychic downloads, or like trying to start receiving God phone, or receiving messages from the universe, and putting them all together. But I think that there's some baggage here that, and like with this Ten of Wands underneath it, like I feel like that's kind of part of it, or that's like just kind of confirming it, where you are needing to let go of those things in order to be able to move forward. I think that's kind of like one of the key points that your guides are wanting to get across to you right now. So like TLDR, let go of baggage equals accessing your intuition. And I think it also like is going to help bring your life like into balance. There's two moons here, moon symbolizing like intuition and everything, and also like this ending up representing like justice in a way, with these like two scales and like this center point that's kind of balancing the two. It may not even be like letting go of your baggage, but it might be like learning to work with it in your life such that it's not overpowering all of the like other spiritual and intuitive elements that you're trying to bring in and incorporate. It's interesting, we have this 14 and then we have another 14 right here. So 14 might be an important number, or perhaps 5. You might be a life path 5, or 5 might be important to your, like might be important number to you. I'm seeing Aries and Scorpio here, so that's pretty cool. You might have those. That might be like kind of like the fiery nature that I was talking about. Like you might have a lot of Aries. It's interesting, Aries and Scorpio are both ruled by Mars, and Mars is transiting Scorpio right now. So you could be like, a lot of these changes could have been triggered when Mars went into Scorpio. You may have a bunch of Scorpio placements that are getting triggered, or perhaps a bunch of Taurus placements, since this is an earth sign. But what we have are chives and geranium. Chives standing for divination, and healing, and geranium standing for healing. I think this kind of goes back to like what I had mentioned here, where you might be like picking up or starting new spiritual pursuits and everything. You might be starting to do tarot or runes or something of the like. Some kind of way to commune with your guides. Okay, I'm hearing your guides want me to tell you that it is working. That like the times where you have felt like you are talking to them, but you're not entirely sure, like this is confirmation that like, yes, you are hearing your guides properly, and yes, they are hearing you loud and clear. That this, like the connection is, you know, fully formed, that everything is fine. It's just like, you're getting impeded by, you know, some of your, like I said before, baggage. And I think that's why this healing is here, is because like, as you practice more and more of this, like this is not going to go away overnight. And it's kind of like bringing this into balance by trying to do more of the divination and everything is going to help with, the healing process, and vice versa. So then the healing will help with the divination will help with the healing, and it comes back to this loop. And perhaps it's kind of like replacing what a negative loop that you had before with this more positive one to start like bringing your vibrations up. The sanctum here, it's interesting because it almost feels out of place in a way. Because a lot of these other ones are talking about like, balance and healing and baggage. And so I'm wondering if like a lot of the baggage has to do with like inner child work, or actually addressing things that come from your parents, or like trauma from who raised you, or who didn't raise you, or however it is that you vibrate with that or like resonate with that. There's a really big need right now for you to be finding a safe place to be doing this healing, and like making sure that your home is, and the home can be like literal home, or it can be like your body, like your earthly body, the home for your soul. It could be just like your sense of home and belonging. Whatever resonates best with you, you are needing to create. You need to turn this into a safe space for yourself to be able to do this healing, because this healing is going to require, like, this is like, there's Scorpio energy in here, and this is like sacral chakra stuff. So this is probably going to be some really intensely vulnerable things. I'm getting, because it's Scorpio and sacral, that like there might be some like sexual trauma or sexual healing that you're needing to be doing, or addressing your relationship with sex. In which case, like, I'm super proud of you for recognizing that. Make sure to, you know, seek out professional help if you need it. But just that right now, it's going to be especially critical for you to find that safe space. And I think that you already know how to make that for yourself pretty well, so that shouldn't be an issue. But it's just your guides kind of affirming like, hey, if you need our help, like putting up wards, or just putting some energy into like your energy barriers, or you know, even just like reaching out to us so that we can calm any kind of, you know, anxiety that's happening. They want you to know that they are there for you to help you create this safe space. They might not be able to heal you, they might not be able to heal for you, but they can help create an environment that is ripe for you to do that healing. So then we have here, I trust my inner guidance, my soul knows the way forward. Just, yeah, you know what is going to be best for you already. I don't get the impression that you might second guess yourself sometimes. I mean, everyone does. I don't get the impression that it's like your chronic issue, or like if that is something that you've identified as an issue, I don't think it's as big of a deal as you think that it is, or at least I don't think your guides do. At least not based on what I'm seeing here. So I'm going to move into the tarot now. So we are seeing the King of Cups, the Ten of Wands, the reverse Page of Pentacles, reverse Justice, reverse Nine of Cups, the reverse Ace of Pentacles, and Hope. We got a lot of reversals here, bestie. Just starting off, I think you see yourself as someone who can handle it all. You see yourself as like the OG mom friend or dad friend, or like the patriarch or matriarch of your friend group, the one who is providing all of the emotional support. To you, you are that person for everyone else around you. And I think that is leading you to carry a lot more burdens than you are really needing to be taking on right now. And I honestly think that it's a distraction. Your guides want me to call you out on this is a distraction from your own healing. Every time, every extra wand you add, every extra person you add to your personal pet projects of people who you're trying to fix and help, that's one less wand that you have for your own healing. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, this is something that I've experienced on my own. So this is not coming directly from your guides, but I do get the impression that like they agree with me that this I'm trying to think of how to put this. your healing is going to be, your ability to heal other people will be so much better when you yourself are healed. It is a challenge to be trying to walk around treating your own sickness while, or cold or broken bones, whatever, while trying to treat everyone else's. Do not be, I'm hearing the phrase, put on your oxygen mask first. You need to be prioritizing yourself and your own needs, and prioritizing yourself in how much energy you have. Like, the energy you have for everyone else, that comes from what is left over from after you take care of yourself. This is like an aggressive call out from your guides of, you are not in balance taking care of yourself. That needs to happen, because like the reason why you feel sick or the reason why you don't feel good is because you are not taking care of yourself. And maybe that's coming back to this whole thing of like your earthly body, like the home for your soul needs your attention right now, before like you like get sick or like you start feeling ickier and you lose more energy out. Because burnout takes longer to heal and rest from than just resting as you need it. And I think that's why the Page of Pentacles is here in the reverse. You are learning how to balance out everything in your life through like learning to set routines to bring balance, learning all of those like little tangible things of life, and learning the things, I'm hearing learning the things that work for you. But I get the feeling that you're like really dissatisfied by this, that this is just not, I'm hearing the phrase, this is not cutting it, bestie. And now I'm hearing your guides are coming back with that, the bit from Holes where the little girl is saying like, I'm tired of this, grandpa. And he turns around and he just goes, well, it's too damn bad. Like, your guides love you a lot, and they are frustrated to see you perpetually self-sabotaging your ability to heal by not keeping enough energy to devote to the to building the habits that you are needing, or to be discovering what habits you do need to attempt to build to help you find happiness and to help you make the things that you want happen. And I feel like until, like, you may have this new beginning and everything, but this is not going to progress any further. Like, there's this Ace of Pentacles here. This is a new beginning of something. Like, feels like something tangible. This feels like something real. Maybe it's like a new job, a new housing situation. It could be a new relationship for some of you. I get the impression that like the relationship is less romantic and could be like you have a new relationship with a therapist, something of that nature. But that this bit is not going to progress to the next section of anything until you have learned this lesson. I feel like I'm hearing that for some of you, relationships are a huge distraction from taking care of your shit, and getting all of your stuff together. Because Justice is a Libra, or is ruled by Libra. And so, or Libra rules relationships and everything. So there's like this sense of things are not balanced. Things are not in balance. Until you bring them into balance, you're not moving forward. I know you're really excited about this new thing, but the new thing, like, I'm hearing that things are just going to keep going the way that they've always been going until you learn this. That like the passion for this will fizzle out because you start hating it, because you don't have any of the foundations built to be able to support this and to support your passions. And that is super frustrating. That, I'm sure, is perpetually making you feel like nothing good happens, or at least, you know, nothing that you really want in your life comes to you, at least not easily. And I can totally imagine how frustrating that would be, feeling like you're being perpetually denied opportunities. But I think that this hope is here just to say, hey, like, this is not a lost cause at all. You are not a lost cause. I know that, like, it might take a bit for you to learn a lot of these lessons, but you are doing it. Everything is going to be okay. Just have faith in yourself, have hope in your guides being able to prepare a good environment for you to do all of this healing. The people that you need to do this healing with, or who can support you through that, if they're not already in your life, they will be coming into your life very, very soon. So to start like setting the groundwork for that. I'm just hearing the phrase like someone's guide in the background is just chanting, go to therapy, go to therapy, go to therapy, like over and over again. And so I'm just going to mention it so that they stop. So if you felt like your guides are telling you to go to therapy, this is your sign. I think that's most of what I have here. I'm sorry that so much of this was kind of a roast. I mean, like, your guides are pretty stoked to be working with you, to be honest. Like, you are, like, I get the impression that you're, like, a really peppy, fun person. Like, your energy is just really, like, kind of bright. It almost feels like what I would describe as, like, a combination between the star and the sun. It's very, like, Aquarius, Leo, and maybe, like, a bit of Gemini, where you're just really, like, you just kind of like float through life. And so I think that your guides are really like happy that you're able to be so positive, that like that is a good thing. You're less likely to get stuck in like the perpetual motion of healing. But that like you need, it's time to heal. Now I'm hearing the meme that goes, it's time to stop. So I think that's all the messages that I have here for this. So I'm going to pull some like softer encouragement or uplifting cards. Let me just shuffle this real quick. Okay. Final chance, y'all. Guides, gods, universe, whatever it is that you need pile 3 to know for their highest good. This is your final chance, or at least for this reading. Okay. We have weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It is not yours to carry. Which, that's coming out over the 10 of Wands. Stop carrying people's shit. You can't, okay. This is like, okay. Hi, I'm Kettle. Nice to meet you, Pot. Or I guess I should say, hi, Pot, or hi, Kettle, I'm Pot. I have tried to carry the weight of other people's emotional experiences, especially when it comes to feeling like I catalyze them, feeling like I'm somehow responsible for whatever it is they're going through. And there's a few lessons that I feel like I need to pass on. One, their reaction to anything you do is so much bigger than just what you did in that moment. It's a culmination of your entire relationship with them, but also their relationship with tons of other people, some of which, many of whom you will not know. It is not your responsibility to manage their emotional experience just because you catalyzed something. 2, they will not learn properly if they don't get the chance to fuck around first. That's the whole thing about learning lessons here, is that when you fuck around, you find out. You can't, I know that you want to save them pain, and I love how like empathetic you are, but it doesn't save them pain in the long run for you to just tell them. And to be quite honest, most of the time they aren't listening and internalizing things, you know? Like, that's not to say that your advice isn't valuable. Your advice and your experience is so valuable, you know? And when people ask for it and they're like going through a tough time, and you know, you'll know when like, you trust your inner guidance. Your soul knows the way. You already know. You are already capable of a lot of intuition. You already know when the right time to tell someone something is. Like, just trust yourself. Like, and just know that you can release all of that responsibility around everything, you know? Like, you don't have to continue to take responsibility for that. I'm just going to go ahead and take these. Okay. We have all paths lead home, inner authority, intuition, and turn your gaze within. I feel like this kind of like builds off of this sanctum. So the Hermit card might not be here, but I feel like there might be some like part of your getting away from carrying everyone's burdens is getting away from everyone energetically. You might need to be like part of making this safe space might be like figuring out how to be alone for a while. And like, it doesn't have to be a long time, just like think through how long you want to be apart from other people, but just like for your consideration, take a retreat, be, you know, alone for a while in your own energies, so you can determine like what is yours and what is everyone else's. So the next one that we have here is fall into my arms. Surrender, holding the opposites and the extremes of life. And I feel like here that's coming out over this like bridging this balance and this justice card. And I feel like that's about like holding the opposites. It's about like, it's not just about picking which one is better. Like, neither one is really better or worse. Ultimately, a lot of the things that you're going to be dealing with are just tools. And so you're needing to be learning how to balance, like how to keep hold of both sides without getting like overweighted on one or the other. And also just like the extremes of life are fine. Like it's okay to be, you know, crazy super happy and crazy super sad sometimes. Like that's part of the normal human experience, you know? Okay, I will take that as the last one of these then. I'm sorry. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs and uprooting. I feel like this relates back to, you may feel like you're paying penance for something, or like trying to prove that you are you might be feeling like you have to prove to other people that you're worth their time because of past things that you fucked up, or feeling like you are incorrect in some way. But this doesn't tell them this. If you have something legitimate to apologize for, then, you know, do that, of course. But I don't think, if you see here, like this is a mirror. This isn't two different people. This is the same person. And I'm hearing that line from The Office. This is, corporate needs to tell you the difference between these two. It's the same picture. This is a mirror of yourself. You are needing to make peace with yourself and apologize to yourself for things. Perhaps that's being too down on your inner child. Perhaps that is punishing yourself for things that weren't your responsibility, like we were talking about. Just whenever you're, you know, taking your time away, if you end up doing that, or whenever you're doing your meditation on what it is that you are needing to surrender and let go of, know that a lot of that is going to be blaming yourself for things that are outside of your control. And so we're going to wrap up with some final messages. I feel the need to shuffle these real quick. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness, please. Okay, screw it. I'm just gonna pick. Okay. My outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition. I'm gonna put this right over here. Like, if you're feeling trapped, like, if you are feeling like everything outside of you is overwhelming, it might be because everything inside of you right now is overwhelming. Like, that's not to say that your perception of reality is incorrect. I think that, you know, it's possible for both of them to be true at the same time. But if you are feeling, if everything outside is feeling overwhelming, then it could be that you're just exhausted right now. Or it could be that you're overwhelmed. One of the two. I mean, like, whatever it is that you're going through, it, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, why am I doing this again? I'm just gonna come here. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. Anything else? Okay, I'm just gonna take that. Joy is the ultimate creator. So yeah, like, your avoidance of things, like, that make you feel icky, that's not usually a problem. Like, it makes you someone who has so much of a creative spirit. You bring so much life to other people and to other situations and everything. Like, that is not a problem at all. So that isn't to say that, like, your transformation has to be, you know, some dark, grueling process. You are allowed to find the joy in that process of sorting, like, taking out all of your things that you're dealing with and sorting through it. Like, that's okay. You experience it how you need to, you know? So those all the messages that I have for you today. Have a wonderful rest of your week, whenever it is that you're watching this. And I hope, well, if I see you in another pile, then I'll see you there. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Hi there, pile 4. If you picked this Roman chamomile card, then this will be your pile. This is going to be the shuffle section of everything. If you want to stick around and watch me, like, pull out all of your cards and everything, get your freshly cleansed tarot deck all shuffled up for you, then you'll want to stick around. Otherwise, you're going to want to go back and click the reading only tag that's in this video. Besides that, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So we'll get started with shuffling your tarot. So there's been a bit of a delay between me getting the first 3 piles videoed and then getting y'all's pile videoed. There was some weird stuff that went down, like, I guess spiritually is the way that I want to put that. Some weird stuff that went down with y'all's pile, and what on earth? Okay. I'm being a dumb. Okay. I'm so focused on, like, trying to tell you guys this. Okay. Anyways, it seems like there might be some kind of, spiritual entity is really trying to get in touch with you. You may have been really feeling called to, like, work with a specific god, or to get back to working with your ancestors, or something of that sort. It was not an energy that I was prepared to be handling for this reading, so I ended up needing to do a smoke cleanse. And so gave it a little bit of time, and now we're coming back to this pile, like, refresh and everything, so that we can get some messages that aren't just pay attention to me. So anyways, let's see. do one more shuffle, and then this should be good. My favorite way to do tarot cleanses is just resorting them back to the original way that they were sorted. So that's usually usually my modus operandi. So it becomes important for me to really shuffle them thoroughly. Vulture. Okay, I will keep that in mind. This is the Wild Unknown Animal Oracle deck. It's one of my first decks that I ever worked with. I actually worked with this deck before I worked with tarot, so it's been with me for a long time. Means a lot to me. All right. What does... Okay. What does pile number 4 need to hear right now from their guides, gods, and the universe for their highest good? I had thought the question, I just hadn't said it yet, so that's why I'm taking that card. So I love this deck. It's really beautiful, but I'm really finding that this like double layered paper nonsense is like, it just screws up the cards a lot faster, and I'm not a fan of it. I have a few other decks that act like that, and it is beyond frustrating, especially when like this paper is so thin compared to a lot of the other ones that I'm hearing. Howl's Moving Cat, like when I saw this, I heard from Howl's Moving Castle, but maybe he's the good kind. So there might be like some kind of hope that you're holding out for, or maybe some kind of big decision that you're trying to make right now where you aren't completely sure about something. Yeah, there might be some red flags that you're seeing about a situation, and you're trying to decide right now what is the best way forward. Okay. Stop, drop, and ground. I love that, like, we're keeping up this color stuff. The Libra in me is always appreciated, or always appreciative of whenever things like that happen. More red. We have stimulation, chilly. Come on. This one, please. Looking up. And just because I'm curious. Finally, some good fucking food. I feel like those go kind of hand in hand with each other. Alrighty. Just one, please. And these are little affirmation cards. I am clearly guided by my revered guardian who protects me always. I'm feeling like this is a callback to what happened when I first pulled this pile, or when I first was pulling cards for this pile. There is definitely something that really wants you to know that it is there, like, taking care of things, even if it's a bit frustrated right now. Okay, we're going to take the tarot, and I just want to shuffle it one more time just for my sake. So it always feels weird for me to draw cards without shuffling immediately beforehand. Okay, there we are. Okay. It really wants me to take this. Okay. Page of Crystals. Ten of Swords. Fool in reverse. Strength. Like 2 more if we can, please. Two more if we can. Nope, that's too many. Just 2. As soon as this came out, I just heard a fresh start, so kind of feeling like this might be connected a bit to why things are looking so good. Okay, 4 of Cups in reverse, and then back of the deck is this Knight of Swords. Okay. All right, I'm gonna straighten things up and then I will see you guys in your next pile. Hi there, pile 4. If you picked this Roman chamomile card, then you are in the right place. We've already done the shuffling. If you wanted to watch that, you'll need to go back and click the timestamp that says pile 4 shuffle, or whatever it is that I decided to put it that says shuffle. But anyways, I'm just gonna get started with your reading. So, like I just said, this is the Roman chamomile card. The tag word here, or like the overarching word here, is destiny. Trigger statement is I am lost. And I'm like seeing like Lilo and Stitch when Stitch just says like, I believe he says I am lost when he's like reading the Ugly Duckling book in the woods after he's run away. So you might be a Lilo and Stitch fan, or you may need, if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in a while, you may have like messages in there from your guides. Might be time to watch some Lilo and Stitch, which might sound a little weird, but like I oftentimes find messages sitting for me in movies and stuff, so might be kind of helpful for you guys. Okay, so the trigger statement here is I am lost. The true statement is I do what I love. There is a path waiting just for you. Open your heart and mind so you can use it on your journey of fulfillment. Sorry about that, pile 4. Okay, so with this card here, that there is a path waiting just for you. Open your heart and mind so you can use it on your journey of fulfillment. And based on some of the other cards that I'm seeing here, especially this Chili card, you guys are, it seems like you guys are on a quest to find what fits you. Like, and not even, I think the reason why it's phrased that way, what fits you, is that in the past, you've been really focused on where do I fit? So like this gazelle is a herd animal, and they're usually like in a herd because it's a way to help protect against predators, to make it like more difficult for predators to single just one of them out. So you may have been like, you may be a person who identifies with like trying to not, in the past at least, you have tried to not stand out too much. You've tried to figure out where you fit, what you can best serve instead of determining what best serves you. And what best serves you is, as you've been discovering, is doing what brings you fulfillment, doing what makes you joyful. And I'm hearing this like, I'm kind of hearing this like inner dialogue of being so frustrated about feeling like you are behind in a lot of the lessons that you learned. Like maybe recently or in your shadow work journey, you have looked at, you know, what the lessons that you're having to learn, and you're having to learn like, oh, I'm allowed to do the things that I love. And when you look at that, it feels like such an initially simple message. It's like, you look around at the other people who already seem to know this innately, and that might be, you know, really kind of triggering for you. Triggering is the word that I'm hearing, where you feel like, you know, maybe everyone else knows something that you don't, and that might be, you know, a really big source of your imposter syndrome that's caused you to not seek out this destiny. And I'm hearing that I need to tell you guys that that is completely okay, that is part of the lessons that you are resolving here in this lifetime, that is part of what it is that you need to do here. Don't worry about what anyone else has already figured out, because they've got lessons that you've already got down pat because you focused on other things in your lifetime. I'm hearing that you may have really focused on your cultivating your intuition and like your heart abilities much more so than like your gut and mind abilities, or like focusing more so on like your crown energy point, crown and heart energy point than your like root energy point. And so I think basically just that your guides want you to know that I'm hearing you're exactly where you need to be. And that's a message that's come out in at least one of the other piles, if I'm remembering properly. So you may have felt drawn to another pile, or may have been torn between two different piles. But anyways, I think that, yeah, your guides just want you to know that whenever you figure it out, that like you were born here for a purpose, but it's not about where do you fit. It's not that like some gigantic, you know, complicated path was prepared for you where you have, you know, this perfect career waiting for you. It's not so much that you just have to find where you slide in. It's about you taking the initiative to create your own foundations. And that kind of like perfectly leads us into like some of these other cards here, especially this 𝗟𝗲𝗃 card. But I'm going to like hold off on that because I kind of just want to go linearly, feeling like that's what I need to be doing here. So this next card here is the gazelle, and I briefly touched on it when we were talking about the Roman chamomile card. This is a fire symbol, or like this is a animal that is in the fire suit for this deck. Fire is a symbol of transformation, and judging by the other cards here, like especially, I just keep coming to back to that chili pepper, because like basically you are being called right now to be like working on what makes you really happy. Like not everyone can handle spice. Not everyone can handle your kind of intensity. Not everyone can, like, you are someone who is not meant to be liked by everyone, who is not meant to fit in perfectly. And I know that that can be really painful. Like, I'm seeing this Ten of Swords here. Like, in a way, it's almost like you're this Page of Crystals feeling separated from, you know, the rest of everything by this Ten of Swords, by this, like, I'm hearing the words like veil of darkness. I don't know. Anyways, with this Gazelle card, it's specifically, like, the description talks about really needing you to be in a place where you're grounding, which is funny that this card also came out with that. That you are needing to be in a place where you are centered in knowing who you are, that it's okay. It's okay if who you are wants to be safe and part of the crowd, right? You just need to be deciding that based on what you want after having thought about it first. That, like, you're allowed to decide whatever path you go for, but that it needs to be a path that you have learned, you've applied all of the lessons, or at least most of the lessons that you are trying to learn to determine this path, you know? It's also a card about, like, elegance and grace. But I'm also, like, getting the picture in my head of, like, whenever gazelles are born, like, I don't know if you guys ever watched, like, 𝗣𝗹𝗰𝗲𝗺𝗲𝗏𝗏 Wild Kingdom or whatever, on Animal Planet and stuff, where they would show, like, all of these animals on the savannah, and oftentimes, like, they would show, like, babies being born, and the, you know, baby would hit the ground and then, like, immediately try and start standing up, but they are so wobbly, and they're, like, they've got these, like, long knobby legs that they're, you know, just trying to get underneath them. So I think that there's also kind of this message of, like, you know, like, if you're being really hard on yourself right now, about, like, having these expectations of, like, grace to yourself or grace to other people, or just, like, how you're supposed to be moving through life, that everything should be easy. If you're, like, having all of these shoulds going through your head, just know that, like, you are still at the beginning stages of a process that is going to be fully, like, coming, like, you are in the beginning stages of a cycle that has to take time to mature. You are having to take time to mature. You are not going to be there immediately, and that is absolutely frustrating. I want to completely validate that for you. And your guides know that it is frustrating for you to be dealing with. They don't like having to watch you be frustrated, but the frustration is part of the process, because that frustration is more so your drive, knowing that this is what needs to happen. And so, you know, in the way that a lot of people joke about, like, using spite to fuel things, like, don't hesitate to use your frustration with like, where you're at to fuel or propel you forward. Just don't use it to fuel tearing yourself down, because that will just hold you back. Figuring out what kind of frustration and anger is productive for you might be a lesson that you're needing to be learning right now, or might be something that you're already working on. And that's interesting, especially, like, anger is oftentimes associated with the color red. And so we've got all of these, like, kind of like orange and red cards, which, like, you may be needing to be working on. Like, red's usually associated with grounding. I'm hearing, like, you may need to be grabbing some, like, tiger's eye or tiger iron if you are into crystals or anything. Just use your best judgment on something like that. But anyways, we've got all of these, like, warm colored cards, all these red ones, and then this tarot is like the opposite of that. It's all like purples and blues and light pinks, which is, it's very interesting to me. Okay. So we kind of already touched on a lot of this stuff. Stop, drop, and ground. And like, there's this little, like, you can see this little seedling just starting to pop up. And so I think that comes back to like what I was seeing with the gazelle, where it's, you are still in the very early stages of things. Like, okay, you're not like just planted, like the seeds have already been planted, you are sprouting and you are reaching towards the sun. And it's interesting that I felt the need to say it that way, because the sun is a symbol of like identity and figuring out who you are. And that's also connected with Aries. The sun is actually exalted in Aries. The sun really likes to be in Aries. You could be an Aries sun, which is like the fire placement. There's just lots of like fire energy here. And you may be needing to like figure out how to navigate that right now. A common misconception about your sun sign is that that's like how you're born. Your moon sign is actually how it is that you're born as, like the energy that you embody at birth, like until you begin to learn the lessons associated with your sun sign. You're not just born in Aries, you become an Aries. And everyone has like kind of a different path of development to a degree, but it all comes back to like figuring out who you are, what you want, where you want to go, how you want to charge forward. I mean, that's kind of why this gazelle also came forward, because like the Aries is the ram. Gazelle is like, is really, I mean, it makes me think of a ram at least. You may also be a writer. I'm hearing if my Pisces moon friend is watching this, hello, welcome to your pile. Anyways, this is trying to think of how to phrase this. There is a need right now to be okay just taking a step back and not be moving forward. Like, you need to get your legs under you first before you start building up the muscles and moving forward. And I feel like this, like saying the drop part, you need to be more gentle with yourself when you feel like you're not doing well, when you feel like you're not doing what you need to be doing. This is a process, and there are going to be times when you don't have the energy because you don't have the stamina yet. You don't just like go to the gym and expect to be able to like deadlift 500 pounds or something. You don't go to the gym and expect yourself to be able to meet those goals instantaneously. And I feel like a lot of the times, because our society doesn't focus on or like value emotions as well, or emotions as much as we value like logic or things to do with the body, we end up not recognizing that emotional stamina is absolutely a thing. Like, and that's something that, like, when you're a little kid, one of the reasons why kids have meltdowns like they do is because they have not built up the skills or created their emotional stamina yet. They have all of these big emotions and they don't know proper outlets for them. They've just never been able to handle them before, so their capacity for handling them is very limited. And so if you have been like finding that you are having all these overwhelming emotions and that you can't handle them or something, that's completely normal. Like, you have to build up the emotional stamina to deal with some things. And I think that there's emotional stamina for each different emotion. So like for me, I have no stamina when it comes to grief. I can only experience grief for very limited periods of time before I have to like shut it off and move away from it. But anger, I can keep anger going for forever. And I'm kind of feeling here, like you might be a person who struggles to keep anger going or to allow yourself to be angry. Now I'm hearing like Bruce Banner saying, that's my secret, I'm always angry. So you might have like this simmering undercurrent of anger that you have not allowed yourself to access or tap into, that I think your guides think is going to be a really good motivating force for you. And I'm hearing that I need to tell you guys that, like, if you are concerned about like expressing your anger, or you're concerned about being in that frustration, like, your guides have your back. They will present opportunities for you to like halt that anger. Like, you are not going to be alone in bringing that out. It's not going to just like stop, and like it's not going to get stuck in the open position, if that makes sense. Like, you might be afraid that if you open the floodgates, that it just will never stop, and like it will break like in the open position, and you can't have control over it anymore. But that's part of the whole thing, is like learning. It's not just about learning how to fully live in your emotions, but in every moment, but it's about learning the appropriate times and being able to open up and then to close when it's important, and to know like the appropriate times for everything. It's not a problem that you've shut down your anger a lot, or that you are able to shut down your anger. The issue is how long it's been, and that you have not returned to those feelings to address it, because it ends up breeding resentment. And it'll be resentment against yourself, resentment against anyone around you who you associate with that. And it can make your life very difficult, because you're just constantly having to deal with that friction. So just know that your guides will protect you from yourself and from situations that are situations where you are given the opportunity to express your anger, and you are afraid that you're going to go overboard. If you do go overboard at all, or feel like you did, like, that's part of the learning process that needed to happen. You didn't screw up. You're just learning about things. Be patient with yourself. And I think that that's also why, like, this looking up is here, is because, like, you are in this place right now because you're moving upward, up this mountain, like, and that's a good thing. Like, everything is moving along as it should, as it needs to be. And that isn't to say that, like, if you're in a bad spot, like, that's not to say that, like, oh, your suffering has a purpose, you should be grateful for your suffering. Like, no, like, suffering fucking sucks, and anyone who tells you otherwise, they can shove it. I was going to use something far more colorful, but I don't know if people are using headphones, so anyways, everything is moving along as it should be, or as it needs to be, and it is getting better. It is consistently getting better. You are consistently getting better and stronger. Part of the reason why you don't think you are is because you're the one having to sit with yourself all the time, versus, like, what I'm hearing is the next time you have to interact with someone from your past who you haven't seen in a while is going to be a really important time for you to notice and take a look at how far you've come in terms of your growth. And that's part of the thing with the stimulation card. Since I didn't technically, like, fully cover it, kind of skipped over. This card here it calls you to be consistently working on what makes you what makes you happy and towards your goals. That at the end of the day, you have, I'm just hearing the phrase consistency is key. That, like, it says consistent stimulation. It's kind of like whenever you eat a pepper and it just kind of, like, keeps going for a while. It's not just, like, you know, really spicy at the beginning or, like, really spicy at the end. It's like a consistent heat that you just need to keep applying the heat. I'm gonna get some water, and then we're gonna get into your tarot. Okay. So, like I'd mentioned before, it kind of feels like you might be represented here by this Page of Crystals, separated from everything else, or feeling separated from everything else by this Ten of Swords, or feeling like your progress is blocked by this like really painful experience. The Page of Crystals, when I first pulled this, I heard the phrase student of Earth. So that could mean that like Earth in like the metaphorical sense of you are learning about like managing tangibilities, that you are learning how to like manage a bank account, budget, you are, you know, starting a job or working on furthering your career in some way. This could also mean that you are needing to take a step back from those things, and this is going to only be some of you. So if this has been something, I'm hearing that like your guides, the guides who belong to the people who this is relevant for, say that you will have already had this feeling if it's for you. Taking a step back from that focus on the grind and looking at how you are, I'm hearing being a servant of Earth. Like how are you, looking at and learning how you are connected to all of the people around you. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. A lot of the times when I get messages and stuff, it's like more of a feeling that gets like really pushed into my frame of understanding, and then I have to like figure out how to verbalize it. So I might just have to circle back to this. It's okay for you to have learned that something is painful. Why did I feel the need to say that? I feel like you have maybe been told a lot that you're too negative. That might be a reason why you really like limit yourself, or why you don't like, why you're not comfortable living in your body, why you're not comfortable being angry, why you're not comfortable with like intense emotions, or feel like you are, that you lack emotional stamina now that you're really cracking into the shadow work, is because you've been told in the past like, oh, you're so negative, like why don't you just like be happy? Like what makes you happy with this, or like what can you be grateful for? You may have had a lot of people trying to redirect you, and I'm here to tell you that like there was nothing wrong with the way that you were expressing yourself. They just can't handle negative emotions, and I think that like a lot of you guys already kind of have been like coming into knowing that lesson, or have already learned it, that it wasn't about you, it's not personal. But I think that there have still been long-lasting effects from that lesson, that you are being called by your guide specifically to address. And that it's okay if you look at a situation and all you see is suck. Like, that you know, or that all you can think about is how, all that you can remember is how painful something is. Like, that's where you need to be with that at that time. The issue is not the feeling it, the issue is getting stuck in it permanently. You have every right to be feeling what you need to be feeling. And I think that's kind of why this is the star seed in reverse. I feel like, so The star seed, in case you aren't familiar with the concept, is basically this idea that, at least as I understand it, that you come from a different plane of existence in some way, and have incarnated here in this lifetime on Earth specifically to help some kind of mission. A lot of times people associate starseeds with like higher beings from other galaxies, I guess. And one of the things that really marks that like I've heard starseeds talk about or have read about them like speaking to is this feeling of like separation and isolation, feeling like you have something to do here that means that you can't quite tangle with the masses. And I feel like in a way this being reversed is saying that that's not quite true, that like not to say that you're not a starseed, I can't speak to that, but just to say that like your life isn't just about this big grand mission that you have to find that's like already laid out for you. Like your life here is about living a human experience. It's about that, I'm getting this like image of like wood carving where someone's like scraping like wood shavings off of it in layer by layer. You're meant to be carving out with intention what it is that you specifically want. I keep like really emphasizing that. I guess it's like really the key idea that your guides want you to come away with, is that like you are already capable of bringing all of this new stuff to you that you want. Like it is not that things haven't wanted you. It's not that you have been unwanted or that the world does not want you at all. Like I'm hearing that like a select few people in your life have made you feel unwanted and made you fundamentally believe that about yourself, and you're now having to correct that idea of that you now project onto everyone else, that like someone gave this to you, you started to believe it because they were someone that you trusted, and now because you believe this, anytime something happens that even like whispers of you feeling unwanted ends up making you feel like they're doing the same things, that they're just acting on what you are so desperately trying to prove to them isn't the truth. And yet you, because you accept it as a fundamental principle unconsciously, you can't, and you haven't like let go of that or addressed it. It just keeps like playing out. You feel like it keeps playing out over and over again. Bestie, this is such a hard energy, and I am so sorry that you're dealing with that. I get what it feels like to feel really isolated like that. I have absolutely been there and struggled with feeling like unwanted or feeling like I was just a burden on the people around me. And I'm here to tell you, like, from myself and from your guides, you are not a burden, you are a delight. I'm hearing there's a poem by 𝗟𝗲𝗃 Bukowski, and please cringe later. I actually really like his poetry. But anyways, there's one where it's a poem called Your Life is Your Life. And the last line is, the gods wait to delight in you. Your life is your life. Do not let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. And the whole poem is just about fighting for the life that you want, fighting for existence, and recognizing that like because death is that like we're all promised to die someday, that we need to be making sure that we are living the life that we want in the moment, and that every time we carve out exactly what it is that we want, that we are pushing against that we're pushing towards life, like, and a life that we want to live. And I'm hearing the phrase from that poem, like, you can beat death in life sometimes. You may be experiencing some grief right now, or have recently had a death in your family. If that is the case, like, my condolences. I think overall here, I'm hearing you need to be kind to your heart. Like, there's this major energy that you have right now of wanting to charge ahead with all of the thoughts and everything. And that could be like more like the logical, like judging yourself kind of side, or that could be the like disassociation, living in your head and your fantasies kind of head stuff. But you're kind of charging into a lot of these things, like you're charging into one of those two things, potentially both. And your guides want you to know that, like, they understand you needing to do what you have to do to get through a day, but at the same time that, like, repeating this pattern of escapism over and over again is not serving you in the long run, and it's not going to get you where it is that you need to go. Where you need to be going is this place of like consistent working on it, that it's like, it's not necessarily about like this grand end plan, but it's about this like small consistent goals, like bite-sized daily things. It's more about, again, consistency is key. And I think that's all the messages that I have for these. I'm gonna pull some more like fluffy encouragement and advice cards for you guys to get some like final messages. Come on. There we go. Big deck. All right. Come on. Just a big chunk of them. Okay. And when I said that, I got a picture of some scenes from the Goonies. So that might also be a movie to take a look at. I wonder if you guys are movie buffs. That's super fun. Oh my goodness, come on. I'm just gonna start picking them for you if you don't want to take it. And we have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. I feel like this is just like another reiteration of kind of what's already been said, of like, hey, you're still at the beginning of everything. Like, in a way, you haven't really even decided to like fully move forward yet with whatever it is that you're like thinking about or feeling called to. And so like, the next step right now is like crossing the threshold. It's like deciding to put in that consistent effort towards what it is that you want. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Again, underlining like that's how you cross the threshold, is answering the call. That you kind of already feel inside what it is that you need to be doing. And you need to trust your gut. You need to trust your instincts on that. I'm going to take this one, I feel like. Double mission, Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. So yeah, some people in this pile, like, I don't know where I'm at on the starseed thing, but you might identify like as a starseed, and if you do, I totally respect that. You may have that kind of twofold mission of like, you are here to have a human experience, and it's through having that human experience that you can fulfill that higher purpose. That it's really important for you to be living the life that you want, to be able to live the life that you planned. I'm going to take these two and call it for this deck. Inner Earth, you'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. Like, sounds like some things are kind of hard right now. Like, I feel like that you'll survive this is like a really direct message from some of y'all's guides for like, just so that you know, like, this is a storm that you will weather. Like, you will come into port. Everything is going to be fine. Just trust the process. And then we have called soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. You are uniquely gifted already for what it is that you feel called to do. You already have these seeds inside of you that are beginning to like sprout and really come out. If you're a younger person, like, I mean, even if you're an older person, like, this may be the time right now where you've been waiting for and collecting experience to now be able to activate for what it is that you are really supposed to be doing here. I think that first step into that is figuring out and like listening to your soul's call, like figuring out what it is that you really want for yourself, not just what your guides want for you, because what your guides want for you is you. I'm hearing from the road to El Dorado when 𝗟𝗲 is asking Tulio like if she can go with him, or like they're like having that conversation, and he says, I want you to want what you want. And then of course she like clobbers him with kisses or whatever. But anyways, I think that's kind of the really big key thing here is, if you've been looking for a message from your guides, the message is you're where you need to be. Like, there's some tweaks you can make, but you're where you need to be, because we are wanting you to figure out for yourself what it is to move forward, you know? We're going to do just some last messages with this. The universe has your back, Oracle, and then I will call your reading. Whoa. Come on. All right. I'm unapologetic about what I desire and trust that I will focus on will grow. Or I'm unapologetic about what I desire and I trust that what I focus on will grow. I choose love no matter what. And when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. All right, so that'll be your reading, y'all. Thank you so much for staying as long as you did. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your week, or whenever it is that you're watching this, and that, yeah, just that everything goes well and keeps getting better, or at least that everything gets better. Bye. Hi there, Pile 5. If you picked this Spikenard, I think is how you pronounce it, Spikenard card, then you are in the right place. This is the shuffling section, so if you are wanting to skip the shuffling and my commentary on how things come out as they come out, then you're going to want to go back to the timestamps and just click the, what's it called? Click the one that just says reading only, or whatever it is that I end up naming it. Otherwise, I'm going to just go ahead and get started. We're going to shuffle I've cleansed this tarot for you. This one is the Light Seer's Tarot. It's one of my newer decks. I am very excited to start working with it. This is me looking at, I like to check to see like how it's curved so that I know which direction I need to shuffle it in, because I like to prevent the curving. Make sure that it wears evenly. Is it ready? Okay, one more. This is the, oh my gosh, what's it called? Wild Unknown Animal Oracle. There we go. I was like, I don't have words. That one just kind of flipped over and came right into place. With the star that I ended up looking at when, there was a point, I'm sure you guys noticed when I paused and I was like, and there was a star, and then seeing this octopus, I'm like getting Little Mermaid vibes. Oh, there's another star. So you guys might like The Little Mermaid, or there might be some messages for you guys in The Little Mermaid. I don't know. Take what resonates or do with that what you will. One more. Okay. What do you really want? Also, I love that this card is about faith, and we saw that star come out. Since a lot of like the star is linked to things like faith and hope. Okay. Desire. It's nice that, what do you really want? Okay. Oh. That Headed North card. This, whenever I made this, I was thinking about the North Star. That's why I put the little stars next to it. So, I'm really curious what you guys get for your tarot. Abundance. Oh, more stars. Okay. And then these are little affirmation tiles. I'm gonna get one of these for you guys. Looks like you guys get 2. I create positive actions through the cycle of change, and I create healthy boundaries supporting my personal growth and potential. So I create, and I think it's interesting that this is going right over abundance. So I wonder if these are kind of like the keys to bringing in that abundance. Okay. Now for your tarot. I'll do one more shuffle just because it feels right. Oh my God. What? Okay. I love that for us, especially for you guys. But I say us because one, the star is one of my favorite cards, but 2, the fact that I like, yeah, I love when stuff like that happens. Okay, 10 of Wands. I'm gonna take them just because they came out. 5 of Cups, 6 of Wands, and a 10 of Swords. Oof. That is quite the packet there, pile 5. And back of the deck energy is Death, Rebirth, reversed. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pause here and then get everything like arranged how I want to, and I will see you guys here in a bit. Hi there, pile 5. If you chose this 𝗖𝗵𝗰𝗲𝗺 card, I believe that's how you pronounce it, then you are in the right place. If you wanted to watch the shuffling or watch my live takes on everything as they come out, then go ahead and go back, watch the shuffle section. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get started here with your reading. So, like I said before, if you pick the 𝗖𝗵𝗰𝗲𝗺 card, this one, let's see, okay. So the trigger statement for this card is, why does this always happen to me? The true statement is, I am at peace. Know that everything will work out as it needs to, and hold a space of gratitude as you watch the miracles unfold. So I know that this thing says, like this card says faith right here. I get the feeling that it's a bit of faith. I think it's also patience. I'm hearing trust and pixie dust. So it might have to do with like trust issues. You may be working on your intuition. But like, I feel like all of these things are kind of like intertwined. And now I'm hearing like the Bible verse, like faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. So right now you may be learning a lot of lessons around like where these three things intersect, which is basically where, it's basically like relationships themselves, because like you can love without a relationship, but like, or like love someone without being in relationship with them. But like with the faith, or like hoping and trusting, that usually, or like specifically trust, you usually have to be in active relationship with someone to be trusting them. I'm also hearing your guides wanting me to tell you that like you have not been trusting them the way that they're wanting you to be. Basically like trying to reiterate to you like, hey, yes, things are happening. You just need to trust us. Like you can't just keep coming and like checking. And like they're saying that there are other messages for you here besides this, that like don't like click off if you're hearing me tell you that what's it called? Your guides aren't saying that you're like creating problems by like looking for more answers with this, but just like as a side note, like yes, things are going the way that they should. And while you're here, let's talk about your boundaries. Oh God. If your guides have also been using the things that you want more than anything else in the world as a way to teach you lessons or to lead you through lessons, and it's getting frustrating, right there with you. And then they wonder like, why do I have trust issues? Because you're using the things that I want really badly and like holding them over my head to a degree. So, if you're frustrated with that, I completely get it. So the octopus here, I like that this healthy boundaries card came up. This octopus is about boundaries. It's about having like a really keen mind, being very perceptive, but struggling to keep your heart separated from things. That like you're really good at distancing from things with your mind, but you're not very good yet being the operative word, and your guides like are wanting me to emphasize yet. This is part of what you're learning right now, that you are learning how to detach while still being in your heart space. That's something that like being in your head and detaching we get used to, that's like really like allowed for or like almost encouraged in our society in a way, but it's hard to find a way to occupy your heart space while still being detached in a way. And I don't mean like apathetic, but just not married to one thing having to happen a specific way. I think that's part of the reason why this "what do you really want" came out. I'm hearing you are using outside. Okay. You are using the results of what you do as like a feedback loop, basically, where you use succeeding in things as an indicator of the direction that you should go. And that's taking the easy path. Like that is a path you can take, but is that really the path that you want? You may be, I'm hearing seeing roadblocks or hurdles as signs that you should turn back. And I think that means that desire is here for kind of two reasons. One, like this is about like relationships and connecting with people, tying back into like the octopus, and being like the need to have healthy relationships with people through establishing boundaries. I think it's also talking about like, what do you really want for you? And I think the focus right now is less on where do you want your life to go and more what boundaries do you actually find satisfying. Like healthy So for me, when I first started my shadow work journey, I was just kind of wandering through things, and it took me about a year, or maybe it was closer to 1 to 2 years, to finally talk to someone about how I was struggling to figure out when I'm done. Like, when am I healthy? I'm going for health, but what does health actually mean and look like? And when I talked to this person, they said for them, they defined being healthy as acting according to my values or in ways that bring me back to my values. And I think that's really important here, because the values are about what you really want. And this is especially, you may have not yet defined, like sat down and defined, what are my core values? What do I want my life and my behavior to really look like in a consistent way? Like, what can I go back to? And I think that's also why this is here. I create positive actions through the cycle of change. Positive actions being acting on your values. So values then become a way to inform your responses, a way to feel confident in knowing that you are responding in the way that you should. And not knowing if you're responding the way that you should be can oftentimes lead to not enforcing the boundaries that you need in your life. I'm feeling like tugged towards this abundance card right now, trying to it feels like this is here already, in that you have such a capacity for hope. And I'm connecting this into the stars. So when I was shuffling the tarot card, when I split the deck at one point, I felt called to like look at where I had split, and the star was one of the cards that was on the side that like really captured my attention. And then just kind of like seeing it a bit more throughout the like rest of the shuffling, it kind of just popping up a lot. So the star is a card about like hope and faith. If you see this card here, like this person is like kind of like on their knees praying, like looking up towards the sky, but they're like holding on to this thread that's like connecting them into something that we can't quite see because it's obscured by the sun, or perhaps it's the sun itself. I think that this abundance here is talking about how you have such a capacity for hope. It just needs to be nurtured by having healthy boundaries around other relationships that have been bringing you pain. Because when you're being repeatedly pained, or like caused pain, or pain is being repeatedly caused in your life, it really starts to like make you shut down and close off as a person to good things happening to you. And I think that your guides are wanting me to tell you that gratitude is going to be a really important part of your practice right now. That finding things to be thankful for when things seem to be going wrong. That's not to say that you shouldn't be like addressing the things that are going wrong, or that you shouldn't be honoring your pain, like not it at all. Just that your gratitude as a way to move through pain, move through and provide comfort. Because, so like grief, for example, is what we experience when we're needing connection, which like I'm just keep like coming back to in my head, this 3 of Cups in reverse. I think that there's been some like issues in connection, or perhaps like feeling really lonely or disconnected from everyone else. But that you can connect to yourself and connect to the universe and connect to the things that are really important to you through gratitude. And perhaps even that gratitude, what you're grateful for and what you're already happy about, can help give you direction for what it is that you really want. Using your joy as an indicator instead of using your sadness or your failure as an indicator for which directions you should go. And I guess that kind of wraps back around to the idea that we talked about before of using your successes as just kind of like being able to like slide through life on your successes, rather than like looking around and seeing like, is this other stuff going to be more fulfilling for me? And now I'm hearing like this card has a lot also to do with like removing things that are no longer serving you from your life, like specifically relationships. That like there might be some relationships that you are holding on to because they are easy and not because they are fulfilling. And they may not even be easy if you're like really looking at it. So if take that if it resonates, but I feel like that is I'm feeling called to say it's people who you have this like, so this is Cancer or the sign of Cancer, people who you have this like imbalanced relationship with, of one of you being parentified and one of you being infantilized, or like one person is a caretaker and the other person is kind of like a constantly needing help or like being rescued. So that might be something worth looking into, researching like rescuer relationship dynamics, basically. Okay, so I'm gonna drink some water and then move on to your tarot, because I think that's about the messages I'm seeing there. Okay, so you guys got more tarot cards than any of the other piles. These three all popped out all at once, and I was gonna keep them in like a packet together, but I feel like their imagery is gonna be really important here. But I'm gonna start over here on my left with the Five of Wands and then the Star. So the Five of Wands is like, it's a very, I'm hearing like iron sharpens iron, where it can be productive. It's basically about disputes and conflict, especially within relationships with other people. And so I think because you have been so focused on the things that feel easy and that feel good, you've missed out on some relationships that would have been really like good for your growth and that they would have challenged you a lot. And that's not to say that you made the wrong choice, but just that this is something that you can learn from for the future, where just because you have to work really hard for something doesn't mean that it's not going to be fulfilling. I think there's, now I'm hearing like you're afraid of investing like actual amounts of energy and work into a relationship that isn't easy, because you're so used to people leaving you, or at least like associate that with being abandoned later, that you just don't want to put in a lot of the effort. So then, but you have all this hope. It's like, you keep hoping for really good things to come to you. And then which like I keep hearing like 𝗖𝗄𝗃 and 𝗖𝗄𝗵𝗃𝗀 lines in my head as I've been like doing this pile. So, and that came out for pile, that happened a lot for pile number 4. So I don't know if you also felt drawn to pile number 4. The message is a little bit different, but maybe there's messages in 𝗖𝗄𝗵𝗃𝗀 or 𝗖𝗄𝗃 for you guys here as well. Anyways, I think that you've been, I'm hearing Lilo saying like, you know, like to bring her an angel. Like you're really wanting, you're wanting your like perfect angel friend that nothing ever goes wrong with to be brought to you. And you keep feeling like you're being brought stitch. And like, that means that like there's kind of 2 ways to respond to this, where it's like Lilo, who just full-heartedly accepts Stitch as like, this is, you know, like, oh, I love that these connect. I just noticed that, like, wow. That's really cool. Okay. Anyways, I'm hearing like that basically when people are difficult for you to deal with, or when you are feeling like you're feeling pressed to set boundaries, you would rather just walk away and leave it behind, regardless of how much potential it could have had, because it feels really scary to invest anything real, to have hope, because you don't trust that your boundaries are going to work. And so because you don't trust your boundaries will work, you don't want to put in the effort to set them. And it kind of creates this self-perpetuating cycle that's just furthering your own sense of being abandoned. And that's something that like really burdens you. Like, one, two, three, four. There's so many cards here of people with their backs to things, looking out to something else. Like here, she's looking to the horizon or walking towards the horizon. Here, she's walking towards the horizon. Here, technically she's standing on a stage, being given praise by this like crowd here in the background. It's like all these hands reaching up. It's kind of this sense of like always looking to the next best thing. That's a really difficult energy to work with. And I think a lot of it is coming from not knowing what you really want, not having any kind of like, I'm hearing that you think of yourself as a really free spirit, that there's kind of this like whimsical nature to you, and that kind of makes sense, like the stars like associated with Aquarius. And I'm like hearing that you kind of reject a lot of your more like Scorpio tendencies, which Scorpio's like very, they're like deep divers, of looking for like, they just like to constantly carve out the things that are no longer serving them. So in a way, like, you're not removing the things that are you're not wanting to do a lot of the hard work, is what I'm hearing. But then there's the other side of doing too much of the hard work. And I think in a lot of ways, because you don't know how to find that balance within yourself, you're trying to stay with the things that keep you happy, which I'm hearing is like glad that you are prioritizing your happiness. That is awesome. Keep prioritizing your happiness, but we need to start moving away from short-term happiness to long-term happiness. That it's not just about like that. Yes, it's really awesome that you're really good at taking the next step forward towards what you want, but like it needs to not be like to run from something else. It's not running from things, it's needing to run to things, towards something, and not just wandering. I'm hearing not all who wander are lost, but honey, you're very lost. And that might be why, you know, what do you really want? Or like, know that everything will work out as it needs to, and hold a space of gratitude as you watch the miracles unfold. Oh, gratitude, the links back, yeah. I feel like I'm being such a Debbie Downer. Like, I'm really sorry if this is a really hard message for you to be hearing. And I don't mean to harsh your mellow. Your guides really care about you. There's a gentleness to them where they aren't mad at you at all. They're just really, I'm hearing sad to see you making the same mistakes repeatedly. And running from the lessons. And I think that puts you in this place of feeling like you just never win. Like waiting for the good things to come. I'm hearing, but they never do. I'm not gonna lie, Pile 5, I really envy your ability to just move forward and focus on the positive. I'm one of those, like, I'm not a Scorpio, but I'm definitely one of those kinds of people who has a tendency to dive too deep, get in too heavy, and overwhelm myself with all the stuff that I'm not doing right. I would love to, you know, steal some of your energy, just to like be able to lighten up a bit, because it's an incredible gift. Like the star is also about like being very gifted. And that's something that they talk about with the octopus, is that like you have all of these gifts and talents and abilities to offer other people and to like enjoy for yourself. I'm having trouble like getting, there's like, I can feel there's some messages that need to come through, but I'm having trouble like pulling them through. So I'm gonna move on to the more like fluffy advice card section, or like advice and encouragement stuff, and see if anything else comes through. Whoa. Yes, just say yes. And then in the book, I remember what it says, because all it is yes, it capitalized for like 2 pages. there's something that you need to say yes to that might be really hard, and that you've been really hesitating on, but that like you feel intuitively that it's the right choice for you. So if you're looking for a sign, that's a sign from your guides to just say yes. The Cosmic Heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. I'm hearing like, find something to commit to. There may be a need to like bring in some kind of like new rituals, or add some things into your spiritual practices that help increase your feelings of devotion. But making your life a moving prayer, I feel like that really links into the whole like wanderlust, feeling like you are a really free spirit, that you just need to bring in, I'm hearing that you need to be able to carry your home on your back, that like be rooted in yourself. You don't have to be rooted in a physical place to be rooted. Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? I'm seeing like a picture of the, gosh, what is her name? You know, that poster from, I think, World War II, where it's the woman with the bandana and like making a muscle pose. I forget what her name is, or what that's called. But anyways, I'm getting a picture of that in my head, so. Do we have any more? Oh, wow. Okay, that got thrown. Sorry if you're seeing like the top of my head there. There we go. Okay. Lemuria, creating heaven on earth, it's happening. So I'm hearing that if you want to be surrounded by pleasure, that you can learn how to create your own, you know, heaven on earth. And that like the lessons that you're learning right now, and part of these, like part of the purpose of these messages for you, is to get you on the path to make that start happening. And last one, Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realm. And this is also like, I love the stars here again. You are not alone in this. Like when you are wandering, like your guides go with you. They're saying that they enjoy the journey. They're along for the ride. They are helping you. They're helping to clear the path. Like they will be here to help make things easier for you, but also like, just know that they will not abandon you at all. Like they are here for the long haul to help you through this. They are making sure that everything comes together in such a way that you learn what you need to learn. I'm gonna pull some of these Universe Has Your Back cards as your final messages, and we'll call it there. I'm just gonna take these, okay. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. When I lean toward love, I am led. All right, that'll be your pile, pile number 3, or sorry, pile number 5. You guys might have felt drawn to pile number 3. Anyways, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope that this helped. If I see you in another pile, I see you there. Otherwise, hopefully I see you in the next video. Take care.